Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me for our all levels yoga flow with 108 abs and followed by fire breaths at the end to purify our organs and lift stagnant energy off. Today our all levels flow is focused on our hips, to open our hips. So let's come to our yoga mat, please. And we'll take a couple of nice deep breaths. Comfortable seat, crossing our legs and relaxing our hands on our knees, sitting nice and tall, and just letting the breath come and go through all parts of the body. Leaving everything on the sideline and coming into yoga world and yoga mode for all of our layers. And to imprint that even a little bit more, let's take an Om together. Bring our hands together in front of the heart. Anjali Mudra. We'll take a nice big Om together. Inhale. Open your eyes, and we are going to come onto all fours. One of my favorite ways to start our yoga practice is to spread the fingers nice and wide, tuck the toes under, coming into tabletop, and bringing some life into the spine by arching the spine up towards the sky, releasing the neck, and slowly hollowing the upper arm bones, and exhale, making some nice big waves in the spine. Exhaling and inhaling and exhaling through all parts of the spine. Maybe finding some new layers with each wave. And exhale, press the hands, the knees, the toes. And one more, we'll take one more nice big wave. And exhale, come to neutral spine, please. Lift your right knee up 90 degrees and take it out to the side and make nice big circles. We'll take 5 circles all the way around and then switch directions. And open some flow in towards the hip socket, the lower back, the rotators, the thigh. We'll take one more and then switch to the second side. Take the left leg up 90 degrees, rotate it out to the side, and then start to circle it from there. And as the leg circles, we'll keep the lower belly nice and secured in for the low support for the lower back. One more circle and then switch leg out to the side and rotate the different direction. Breathing, moving energy through the hips. And last one, take it all the way back down and take downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, pedaling in towards the heels. There should be some nice vibrant energy from the hips, legs down, in towards the feet. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Pedal, move this way and that way. Maybe into the sides a little bit. Few more breaths right here. Come up on the toes, bend the knees. Take the feet to the hands. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, fold. Press the feet. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And hands floating back down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, long spine. Step both feet to plank, please. Shoulders and wrists are stacked. And lower to the floor. Inhale to your cobra. Inner shoulder to outer shoulder, roll back down, push back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take your right foot outside your right hand. Come up high on your back toes and open up your right foot so that you are on your pinky toe side on your right lateral side of the foot. Come up high on your left toes and moving back and forth this way and that way a little bit. Checking in with the rotators, checking in with the hips, with your hip flexors, and step it back, down dog. Take a breath through all the layers. Step your left foot outside your left hand. Come up high on your right toes and then open your left foot nice and wide so that you turn your foot a little bit in a diagonal and then karate chop your left little toe side down. Lift that right hip and sink a little deeper in towards the left. And move it side to side, this way and that way. Whatever movement that you might need to do to untie knots and feel a little bit more flow through the hips. Exhale, step back, down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come forward to plank pose. You can always stay in your plank or you can lower down. Inhale, cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder, and exhale, take it back down, push back, down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come to your knees and your hands. Come down onto your forearms, palms together. Going from shoulders to hips to shoulders. Flush the forearms down and get in a little bit more in towards the shoulders, side body long. So from the hips to the shoulders we lengthen. You can bend the knees and get a little bit more leverage in towards your shoulders and in towards the more opening in towards your hips. Take yourself up on your toes. Take your heels over to the right side and stretch a little bit more into the whole left side of the waist. Moving, breathing, press the palms together, forearms are down, and come up and over to the second side. Bend your knees, flush the forearms, lift the hips. Breathing, softening, turning in towards that right side of the waist and hip, and come back to forearm down dog, and bend your knees, come to down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Flush forward to plank, hold here or lower, then take your vinyasa flow variant that works for you. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. And we'll step the right foot outside the right hand again. And from here, take your left knee to the floor, coming a little bit deeper into our hips. And again, we're gonna open up the right foot and the knee out to the side, come down onto the forearms, palms together. Or of course, take a block underneath the forearms at any time. Tuck the back toes and lift your left knee off the floor. Moving the way you need to move to release any stagnant energy from your hips. Take a nice big inhale and exhale. Excellent. And hands to the floor. Put your right foot flat. Take your right arm up for a nice big twist. And exhale, release. Hands to the floor. Step it back. Down dog. Take a breath. Even out your down dog. Feel some new pathways. From here, step your left foot outside your left hand. Take your right knee to the floor. Open up your left foot so that your knee tilts out to the side. And forearms to the floor or to a block, or keep your hands on the floor. Flush your forearms down, karate chop your left little toe side, and lift your right knee off the floor. Moving back and forth. Breathing, softening. One more breath here. And hands to the floor. Take your right hand to the side, left arm comes up to the sky, the right foot comes flat onto the floor. Exhale, release. Hands to the floor. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Come through your flow. Plank pose, lowering. Inhale into cobra and exhale. Take it back down. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. From your fingers, from the palms, bring energy, clearing energy through the arms, through the shoulders, through the hips, down to the ankles. Spread the fingers. Breathing, softening. Come up onto the toes. Bend the knees, look between the hands, step, hop forward. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Hands to hips, elbows to sky. Come all the way up to standing and release the hands. We'll stay here, a few more breaths. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, long spine. Place your hands, down dog. Step your feet back. Spread your fingers, come up on the toes, bend your knees, look between your hands and clear from your hips all the way to the shoulders. Take your right ankle over your left knee, bend your left knee and karate chop your ankle into the little groove right above the knee on the left side. And come into your figure four on your right leg. It should be a nice feeling into the whole right side of the hip. Pushing the arms down and away and lengthen. And take your right arm, take your right leg up and back. We'll leave the arms down for now. Open up your right foot, your right hip, spread your toes, knee to the sky, sink your left heel down. Step your right foot between the hands, come into high crescent lunge. Arms forward and up. Bicep towards ears, sink nice and deep. Few more breaths here. You might even lift your chest and your heart and your lungs a little bit more and take your gaze up towards the sky. Lean onto the shoulder blades. And from there, exhale, release. Hands to the floor. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Stay here or take your flow. Plank pose, lower. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, come back down, push back, downward facing dog. Come up onto your toes. Bend your knees. Take your left ankle over your right knee for a down dog, figure four mode. Turning and churning in towards the left hip. Press the palms down and it's at the same time grow super tall in the arms. All the way up through the shoulders, side of the waist, into the hips. And flushing out stagnant energy out the legs, out the feet. One more breath here. And then from here, sweep your left leg up and around, one-legged dog. And you might sink your right heel down, open your left knee up towards the sky. Breathing, step your foot between your hands, come into a high crescent lunge. Breathing through all the layers, standing right here, lifting heart, chest, lungs up to the sky. Sinking maybe a little deeper, maybe finding some new spots in the hips. And exhale, release, hands to the floor. Step it back, downward facing dog. And roll your way all the way forward. And come to the floor, inhale. Into your cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder. And exhale, release. Come back, downward facing dog, please. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come up on your toes, bend your knees. Take a step or a hop over to the hands. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Hands to the hips, elbows to the sky. Come up to standing. And release the hands. I hope your hips feels a little juicier, a little bit more loosey and more flowy down through the legs and beyond and to our string of energy and light. Let's bend into the knees and we'll continue with our figure four. Take your right ankle over your left knee and hinge and fold. come forward. So you might have your hands on your hips, you might have your hands on your knee and your foot, kind of helps to ground down. You might grab your blocks, mine a little bit too far away right now, but yeah, you might have them close by. You can also take your hands all the way to the floor and turn and churn in towards the hips this way and that way. Few more breaths right here, and then come up on the fingertips. Take the same route back that you came down, hands to hips, hug your knee in towards the chest and release. And switch sides. I like to bend the knees first, and then I know my femurs are plugged in and I feel a little bit more stacked and integrated to my balance. Take your left ankle over your right knee, hands to hips, and maybe we'll stand here because it feels pretty good. Maybe we'll take the hands to the knee and the ankle. Each side are so different always because it depends on like how our knees are aligned and our ankles and the energy through the hips, lower back and all of that. It's like a string of energy. Sometimes when we have knee and ankle issues, it becomes a little wavy. And that's what we keep doing this over and over and over again and just repeating and feeling more tapped and tuned in to ourselves and our body and our energy. Hands might come to the floor. Maybe you'll have a block or two, moving and grooving here. Give yourself a few breaths. And gently bring yourself back up the same route that you came down. Hug your knee in, align the muscles around the knee, and then send your foot back down. Nice. And come to a comfortable spot on your mat or step off your mat. Sometimes that feels even more grounding for our balance. We're going to take outstretched hand and like a pose, Utthita Hasta Parangustasana. Hands can be on the hips to start, bend the knees. Let's release the hands. Inhale, inhale, take it all the way up. Palms up. Exhale, fold. We do it kind of the fun, explorative way, creative way. We'll hinge and fold right here. Inhale, long spine, and take your feet just slightly hip widths apart. Take your peace fingers around the big toes. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Elbows to the side. And take your left hand to your hip. Bend your knees. Take your right leg and arm out to the front for outstretched hand and leg pose. And then from here, take your leg out to the side. Nice. And have a good time right here. Take your gaze over your left shoulder. Take your arm out to the side. Spread your toes. Breathing. And then gently take your hand back down to your hip and extend your leg forward. And we're gonna come back down with it again, holding on to the big toe and folding, taking left peace fingers around your left foot, toe, big toe, elbows out to the side. Uttanasana. Take your right hand to the hip. Stack your hips and your ankles above and below. And then from there, levitate, lift your left leg out. To the front. Straight forward. Pull the lower belly in to send a signal into the legs to stay nice and stable and clearing the energy path. From here, take the leg out to the side. Nice. And you might take your arm out to the side. And you might take the gaze out to the side. Spread the toes. Secure the front side of the spine by hugging everything in. And exhale. Take back to the center. Hand to hip. And we're going to come back down to have our peace fingers around our big toes. Big toe forward fold pose. Elbows out to the side. Top of the head towards the floor. Breathing through the legs. And hands to the floor. Feet wide apart. Turn your heels in, please. Take your knees over your ankles, hands right inside of your knees. So right above the knees, thumbs facing in. Shoulder to the center, stretching in towards the right, lower back and hip area. Coming back to the second side, left shoulder into the center, and gently coming back all the way, hands out to the side, powerful pose, goddess pose, bending the knees and pushing the knees out to the side, to the back, press into the feet, sinking a little deeper. We can do it, and then press all the way down and hands to the hips. Turn your toes back to the front and get a nice clear line from the adductors and all the way down. From here, arms to the side, right foot turns out, bend your front knee, come into warrior two. Gaze out of your right middle finger. Give yourself a few breaths right here. Just really taking advantage of the rotation and the opening of the hips that we've done, and making maybe some new layers, some new awareness in towards the legs, like a never-ending well of digging in, layers and layers and layers and layers. Warrior two, just super powerful. Take your right fingers behind your right shin ankle on the floor or onto a block. Left arm up. Take the gaze up towards your thumb. Breathe, soften. Take the top arm and pull it up even more as you press into the right mound of the big toe and extend to Trikonasana, triangle pose. Gaze stays up. Spread your toes, put them back down. Hand to hip. Take the gaze down, step it up into balancing half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Bend into the standing knee. Take your left hand inside your left foot, and from here take the knee up towards the sky this time and get a nice big quad stretch, a nice big opening in towards the hips, in towards the front, the back of the thigh. The gaze can stay down, the gaze can come up wherever you feel grounded. For me, the gaze stays down. And exhale, bring it back out. Bend your front knee and step your foot back. Warrior two, arms out to the side, press into the front leg and turn to the front. And we'll come over to the second side. Bend, turn to the left side, and then from here, bend into the front knee. So we have the heel straight into the middle of your right ball of the foot, right arch. And we'll just stay here, warrior two, super powerful, and hanging out, breathing, softening, and we're gonna have to hug the skin to the muscle a lot to stay here and to create more opening pathways for our hips. New layers for stability, new layers so we can ground from our waist, hips, and down to the legs, to the feet. And we'll take another breath. And then from here, take your left fingers behind your left shin or ankle, or take a block. Right arm straight up, just nice and long, long side body. From your hips to your shoulders, gaze up towards the thumb. Bending your front knee, hanging out, extended side angle. From here, lift your right arm to help to extend your left leg. Press the mound of the left big toe down. Gaze can stay up. And we can just hang out right here and enjoy bottom ribs forward, top ribs back. Take the top hand to the hip. Take the gaze down and step it up into Ardha Chandrasana, balancing half moon. Breathing. You can stay here, have your hand on your hip. You can take your hand inside of your right foot, and you can take your knee up towards the sky and get like a nice big elongation through the whole quad on the right side. And you probably are feeling it, calf, hamstrings on your left side. Make sure to have that nice micro bend into the supporting leg. Breathing, softening, melting, and staying super strong into the midline at the same time. One more breath, and then exhale, release. Step it all the way back into our warrior two. Arms out to the side. One breath and press and come into feet wide apart. Prasarita Padottanasana. Hands behind, interlace. Roll the shoulders up and back. Hinge and fold. Top of the head towards the floor. Tuck the toes slightly in. You can have your hands on the sacrum and focus on your legs and your hips. You can take your arms up as well or over, wherever it feels comfortable for you. And release the hands to the floor. Lift your torso parallel with your yoga mat and step to downward facing dog, please. Any direction that works for you. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press into the feet. Press into the hands. Take some extra nice breaths into the hips, into the layers of the hips. Spread the fingers. Take your right leg up towards the horizon, up to the sky. Make circles with your right knee to your left elbow, and then out to your right, and then back up to your left elbow, to your right elbow, and back up. Just a little massage for the hip. And this time around, we'll take that same loop, but come all the way down to pigeon pose. If prone pigeon is not working for your knee, then please just lay on your back and pull your right knee into your chest. Come all the way forward and take your forehead to the floor. If you wanted a little bit more flow, you can take your hands to the side and make some waves with your spine, and you will find and feel different areas in your hips 3 times, and then we'll come all the way back down and take the hands forward, breathing, softening, melting. Hands to the side and come back up. Step it back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take your left leg up towards the horizon, maybe all the way up towards the sky. If you feel plugged in and it feels comfortable, we just want to make sure that we are hugging the midline nice and strong. Take your left elbow to your right, take your left knee to your right elbow, and swing it around, making circles from the hip and around. And then this next time, we'll do the same loop, but take our knee over to the left elbow, wrist, and come to our pigeon, folding forward. Maybe your hands come to the side. Maybe you will enjoy a couple of spinal waves with me to find some different areas in your hips. We'll do 3. And then we'll take it all the way back down. Take the hands forward. And gently take your hands back down to the center and come back, downward facing dog. Spread the fingers, extend down through the heels, come forward to plank, lower to the floor, and inhale to your cobra, and exhale, come back down to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take your feet all the way together, please. Step your right foot between the hands. Take your left foot, put it flat, and we're going to rise up to here, all the way to warrior 1, with our arms on each side. Super powerful from the feet. And just kind of moving some new energy that we created for ourselves through the hips, through the body, and just filling ourselves up with some new vibrations. Palms together. sinking deep into the front leg and into the back leg at the same time. And exhale, release, hands to the floor. Step it back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your left foot between the hands, turn your right foot flat on the floor. Inhale, rise up all the way from your feet, below the feet, up through the legs, like you can feel new energy pathways that the hips have cleared. Palms might come together, full Virabhadrasana. 1, super powerful. Pull your left hip back, your right hip forward, and exhale, release. Hands to the floor, step it back, downward facing dog. Right foot, pigeon again, pigeon pose. This time we're gonna do a seated pigeon upright. Of course you can lay flat down if you feel more comfortable that way. But we're also going to give it a try to tuck the toes under in the back and use the openness in the hips to transport energy, power into the legs so we can levitate off of the right sit bone. The right hand can stay on the right thigh. Take your left arm behind you and find the inside of the foot. Press your hand and your foot into each other. This is a perfect place to be right here. Maybe you'll take your elbow to your foot. Maybe you take your right arm up. Maybe you find your hands behind you and come into your mermaid pose to your bind. Push your hand into your foot into the elbow, and expand the whole pose to the outer layers. And exhale, release. Bring it all the way back down. Nice. Exhale, push it back, down facing dog. Move about in your down dog. Left foot, pigeon pose, underneath, seated, upright. Tuck the back toes under. Lift the heart, the chest, the lungs. And take your right arm behind, kind of like the hitchhiking style with the thumb up and the palm is facing in towards the foot. And then from here, you can have your left hand on your thigh and support yourself. Click the little toe side on your left foot down strongly. You might lift your arm up towards the sky. Maybe you'll take your foot into your arm crease. Push the hand and the foot and the arm into each other and lifting up into your mermaid pose if it's for you. Staying super connected to all the layers, skin to muscle, muscle to bone, and from there organically extend out. And exhale, release, take it back out. Nice, nice job. Exhale, pull back, down facing dog. Breathing, softening, melting. From here, come up on the toes. We're gonna come down onto the knees and sit onto our hero's pose. Please take a block or something to sit on if that is something that you need. This is pretty intense for the knees. If this is new for you, sit on something and sit upright. Maybe take one leg at a time and not doing both at the same time. So pick what works for you. We're moving onwards to hero's pose to just really lift any stagnation in the front of the hips, in the hip flexors, up and off. We can be done one leg at a time. It can be done laying flat onto the back with the legs just in a nice straight forward form too. Lift the hips up and come back down so that you're more towards your sacrum. You can be on your forearms here and enjoy. Click all of your toes down. That fourth and fifth toe, it's nice to get them down, but they really want to come up, so we have to work really hard. And that way, if we are super active in the toes, then the bones in the feet and the ankles and the knees and the hips, they start to just find this really nice pathway of energy for us. And you might come all the way down. You might take your arms over your head, hook your thumbs, take your elbows, anything that works. Breathing here into all the layers. A few breaths. One more breath here, and then exhale. Take your hands to the side and bring yourself up in no particular fashion or mode, but in a very just safe way. Come up onto all fours, step your feet back. With bent knees, take down dog and release some energy through the knees, through the hips. Maybe your right heel down first, maybe your left heel down. Hug the inner edges of the feet as well. That really does make the knees happy. It makes the adductors happy, and then the hips and the lower back are also very happy about that. And then you might even feel more length in your down dog in your upper body from doing just that. Few more breaths here. Moving the head side to side. Releasing anything in the neck. And gently come up on the toes, bend the knees, and we're going to take a leap through the hands and come onto our backs. So we can roll down vertebrae by vertebrae and come all the way down. From here, take your right peace fingers around the right big toe, left hand to your left thigh, quad, and just gonna enjoy this. We're gonna skip the head up towards the knee because we are soon about to embark on our 108 abs. So we'll save our abs for that. Instead, we do our best to elongate and create space for our hips. New pathways. Take your right leg out to the side. Same as our standing variant. Moving the breath. And gently taking it all the way back up. Release your hand and your foot and send them opposite direction. And then we'll switch sides. Right hand on your right quad. Left peace fingers around your left big toe. Extended hand to big toe pose. I'm hoping that you feel something in the back of the leg. You can always push the big toe into the peace fingers even more. You can push that right root of the big toe also away. Moving any stagnant energy. Shoulder blades onto the floor. Take your left leg out to the side. Spread your toes. Stay active in your muscles, hugging the midline to connect the bones into its most fullest way of staying plugged in, and from that place making our new pathways in the muscles and ligaments and tendons and joints and energy lines. And gently take it all the way back up and release your left leg down as well. From here, bend your knees in, and we'll have one more figure four. Take your right ankle over your left knee, hands to the floor. Just gonna lift it up and down a few times. We'll take 5 times up and down in our Setu Bandha Sarvanjasana, kind of in motion in figure four, and then take it back down. And switch sides. Take your left ankle over your right knee, press the palms down, lift your hips up and down. This helps our sacral joint, the SI joint, to kind of just come into its more fullest place of movement from and moving from in a nice connected way. And we'll do one more just to kind of seal it in, and then take it back down and bring your feet flat. Take your hands around your yoga mat, scrunch it up, feet down, press your head, shoulder blades underneath you, come up into Setu Bandha Sarvanjasana, press your feet down, lift your hips up, clear the belly, clear the front of the hips, and all the layers in towards the back. And one more breath. Exhale, release, take it all the way back down. Adjust and lay nice and comfortable on your back. Bring your knees in a comfortable level, not like all the way in, because that's a big forward bend from your back bend. We can take our arms inside the feet, inside the arms, and hands outside the feet for happy baby. You can rock a little bit side to side. And then we can just let the hands and the feet hang out together. See if we can get that kind of goddess pose, or the power stand pose, with our ankles and knees stacked above each other, above and below. And then maybe bring the sacrum more down to the floor, and just kind of really utilize and imprint in all the new places and spaces we made with our hip opening sequence today. And bending the knees in. And from here, we're going to move straight into our 108 abs for purification. This is our last video in this series, so have fun with it and do what you can. We don't even have to lift the feet up, or we don't have to lift the arms up. We can take it to wherever we feel comfortable with. So here we go. Let's come all the way down onto our backs. And I had in mind that we'll do it like a kind of a froggy style today. We're moving and flushing the hip flexors, and of course massaging the organs by bringing the knees in. So we'll take it out and bring it in, and take it out and bring it in. And we can come down and touch the feet to the floor. We can have the hands to the side, or we can take the hands behind and do like a little elbow to knee feeling. So pick one that works for you, and I feel like we can start right about now. Here goes number one. Nice. You can take your knees up towards your armpits too. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, and make sure to use your abdominals. 12 and 13, 14, 15. You might come in like meet with the elbows and do a little lift with the upper body as well, or you might just keep your arms up there. 20 and 21 and 22 and 23 and 24, 25, 6 and 7 and 8 and 29 and 30. I'm feeling a little burn. Maybe you're feeling a little purification in progress too. I hope so. And 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 42, and 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50, and 51, 52, 53, and halfway there. It's a piece of cake. We're almost there. 55, 56, 7, 8, 9, and 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70. Not much longer. We're just purifying away here. Feels pretty good. And 73, 74, 75, 76, 78, 78, 79, and 80. Woohoo! 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 89, and 90. Yay! 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, and 108 more. 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, and 108. One more for good measure, just in case we missed one. And bring it in. Take it all the way down. And give yourself a couple of windshield wipers. It should be a nice buzzing feeling for the organs, for the layers around the organs, and of course for our abdominal muscles. And then gently take the knees into the chest and come and roll up to a comfortable seat. Take something that makes you sit comfortable for our 108. No, we just did those. Let's not do them again. We're gonna do the fire breath. I like to do 33 exhales or pumping the breath and 3 breaths in between. And if you have done this with me now, this will be our 6th round. And if you're new, welcome. This is fun. We take our arms out to the side and we bring the fingers in, thumbs up to the sky. The thumb represents the fire element in our body. So while we do our fire breath, we are also making a nice circle and a nice, like a kind of fire antenna as well, where we can just let the energy circulate out and maybe bring in some new, clear flame to our body that we might need. Who knows? Let's take a couple of nice deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Sit nice and tall. Inhale, exhale halfway out, and then we'll pump the breath for 33 times. Here we go. Exhale, hold it, take your thumbs together above. Bring it back down, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale halfway and pump it. Exhale all air, thumbs together above the head. Hold the breath out. Bring it back out to the side. Take your breaths. Exhale, inhale, exhale halfway, and pump last round. Hold the breath, thumbs together above. And bring your hands back out. And exhale the hands down. And we'll just sit nice and tall, savoring the nice energy flowing around. Come back to normal breathing. Letting all the layers soften, calming, coming back to a new, fresh place of moving energy in and out, of moving our breath in and out, of moving new ideas, new creativity in and out. I want to thank you so much for joining me today for this very fun practice for me. I hope that you enjoyed it just as much as I did. I feel certainly a whole new buzzing in my hips, which I know creates an even more grounded way of moving from here. And I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. And if you haven't tried the other videos in my library, please go ahead and have fun with them. And some of you know that this is the 6th one in our 108 ab series. So we have a couple of different themes for our different body parts. And I hope you go and explore them and dig deeper into the layers of our bodies and our minds. And just about everything that yoga is connecting us with. Thank you again, and let's take Shavasana together, and please stay for as long as you have time, and let everything update into the new vibrations that is meant for us. Let's take a comfortable Shavasana with our hands out to the side, feet to the side, press the head, adjust the shoulder blades, and just let everything melt out to the side. Heavy muscles, toes are relaxed, ankles are relaxed. All the muscles of the legs, the knees gets to just relax. The hips feels even. There's a whole new awareness into the whole belly, into the whole third energy center where we hold our fire. We balance it with the breath above and the grounding layers below. The breath comes and goes easy. There is a smile from shoulder to shoulder. Out the arms, the fingers are curled. Palms and bottom of the feet are breathing. Breath flows easy in the back of the throat. Jaw is relaxed. The third eye is cleaning and clearing. The crown of our top of the head is open for new communications that's meant just for us.